Public. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Victoria, you want to do the roll?
Albert.
Here.
Day.
Here.
Orecki. Here. Bono.
Here.
Mendel.
Here.
Davenport.
Here.
We have a forum.
Noticed, Alana Baslow is not on the roll sheet, is, regretfully resigned from the board, so we're going to have a search for a new person, and that, if you're not familiar with the process, you know about this, you have to go through the legislature. We would make a recommendation of sorts, and then, the legislature actually has the ultimate decision. So, you know of anybody that you think is going to fit on the board, would add to the board, please let the group know, and at least they have a discussion on it still, I guess.
Just with the ABO, they would
Right.
like to see us more diverse as a board, however you want it.
If we define diverse, I remember we were talking about that before when Alana was did they
Did they pass that?
diverse?
Well, that's not making it diverse. Those are people they wanted, but the ABO takes a look and so you have one woman on there. Where's your minorities? Where's everything? Yeah, I don't know.
It'll be nice to see it on the board, but,
It'd be nice to see a qualified individual.
Oh, I took,
Would be the best.
so then names come to mind. Let's talk about it, offline, and then, we'll make our recommendations to the legislature. All right, before we get started,
Oh, come on over.
welcome to Greg.
Morning.
Welcome. Before we get started, we have a new addition, the marketing and communication specialist, Samantha Canarelli. Welcome, Samantha.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
You want to just tell group a little bit about yourself and where you came from?
Yeah, so I'm originally I grew up in Sequoia, but I got my degrees from the University of New Hampshire. So I decided to go 6 hours away to school. I have my bachelor's degree in communication and business, and then I have my master's degree in MBA in marketing. My previous role was in banking, so I'm very excited to get back into the marketing field and put my knowledge and skills to help Herkimer County.
We're glad to hear it.
Yeah.
That was very well prepared. We learned her yesterday. She worked for M&T right here on Main Street, so it's in the corner.
Welcome. Okay, let's go with the mission statement, Janet. Sure.
The Herkimer County Industrial Development Agency delivers economic incentives to businesses and industry to diversify and strengthen Herkimer County's tax base and enhance community vitality by supporting job creation, business and industrial development, and community revitalization. We strive to develop the local economy in an organized, sustainable, and environmentally beneficial manner. Well, because some people might not understand. So the ABO came into us, they're the authority budget office, came in here and audited us and said, as long as you meet what your mission statement is, you're able to work on those types of projects. So this really does cover the brownfield projects, working with individual communities, housing. So in order to say what we do and do what we say, the mission statement incorporates all of this.
Great, thank you. All right, item 4, the minutes for the August 26th meeting was sent to you. They're in the packet. Are there any questions, revisions, deletions that need to be made? Hearing none, entertain a motion to accept those. Tim, second by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Okay. Item 5, the financial reports for August are in the packet also. Are there any questions for Jen?
Well, there's one thing I'd like to bring up first, and I'm glad Legislator Malta's here. Our packet's light today, but a lot of times we have packets that are this thick, and I know I attended a meeting at the county, and you had all these iPads that you guys were looking to do something with from elections. If there was a way we could get a minimum of 7 of those that we could hand out here instead of handing out the paper, it would work great. I know that they talked about that. I'm not sure where they are, but maybe
I think each of us are allotted 3 pieces. At my 3, I could find 4 more.
okay, that would be really good to help us out with. That would cut down the cost on paper as well.
Yeah.
as killing all these trees.
I'll check it in.
Oh, thank you very much. So our finances just went up, Jay. Yeah, so everything, we're still in great financial shape. We don't have any outstanding loans, so that's good. We've closed all of those out. Receivable are for where we're looking to do projects, those will be coming in shortly. Our on budget, we look on track for that as well. You'll see we're a little bit higher on some of the maintenance things that we're doing. That's only because we've taken over some other properties that we've had to do some additional things with. Other than that, we're looking really good as always. We've had some great meetings where we have some additional projects coming in, and we'll end out the year on a very high note.
Can you remind me what capital we put into Manheim? I remember we were talking about it, but I just don't remember
Well, I'm
what
so
it was. You know,
Studies and things for that.
it was in July or August. It stuck out to me and I just can't remember.
Well, we're for the water tank.
For the
So
water.
water
Was it the
tank.
Water tank?
Yeah, so what will be, what goes in comes out too, because it's through the PIF and the different grants that we have. So we drew down from the county for the PIF on that, but we'll also be getting a lot of additional grant monies coming in. And the 50 was one that we just won, oh no, 500,000. We just won through the county for additional funding for that tank. That tank is now gonna be a ground-based 500,000 gallon water tank that'll sit in the Manheim Business Park and support not only the village and the town, but additional growth in that park. So we're 90% done with the design, and that'll be moving over to the health department. In fact, I think they have that now. We haven't gone out to bid yet, but it was in front of the health department. Sometimes it takes me a minute. Yeah, no, I know, that's my second thing.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, anything else? Questions? Motion to accept the financials for us. Glory, second, then discussion. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Carries. Item 6, microenterprise grant, Victoria.
Yes, since our last meeting, we did draw down funds and disperse to Juliana's farm. And I submitted a draw request for AVOT last week, which was approved at last month's meeting. I'm still working on data collection and draw requests for submittals for the approval at last month's meeting for Melfi's and SurePrint. We will likely have one final application, and I hope to have that able to present to you all at our October meeting. That'll be an estimated $26,000 award to grant out all of the funds for the program. I'm currently working on doing the extension paperwork for that with the county. We are requesting a 6-month extension for the micro enterprise grant. We've had several conversations with Homes and Community Renewal about that extension over the past few months. They're well aware of where we are in the program and how we can successfully expend all of the money and get this closed out within the next.
It's not enough time.
Yes.
I think so.
Because we have the last one, right? We are, however, receiving a lot of phone calls on new people that are interested in funds. I think as our team gets more up to speed, that we might take a look at reapplying for another $300,000. Yeah.
Good, thank you, Victoria. Item 7, the Russell Farm.
So they've asked for an extension, given them a short 10-day, just so they get this through the window and still have the property. I'm inclined to, Tony's not on, I think.
He's on right now, just is joining.
Morning, Mr. Halleck. So they're looking for an extension, I believe it's 6 months. what they've put together so far, and I can pass these around, if they're the same. They've invested, that's you, that's a different.
Yep.
So sorry. Yeah, that one's Skylar, this is Russell Farm.
That's next. We have.
So the Russell Farm, so they're looking for an extension as well. They have a couple of different developers we've been talking to. One still is Niagara Water, which we had here. A couple other distribution centers, a couple other food processors. They've invested a lot of money into that park and that property. I believe we should continue on with status quo with what they have in place already and just extend it 6 months. So that's what I would do.
The board. It's a flavor.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
I think they brought people to the table, so I'm there, we're at number seat, we know how, so.
They've also hired a firm called JLL, which is a very large firm that does site selection too around the country. So that's how they begin. But they've invested a lot of time. Too. I think to ask for additional funds right now, I don't think it's.
So no additional funds, just an extension.
Just an extension. That would be my recommendation.
Okay, I'll need a motion, what's the flavor? Yes. Lord, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Any opposed, nay? Carried. Skyler Business Park, there's a handout there, with, Beaver Blue.
Yeah, so I wanted to show everybody, at our last meeting, we gave them an extension. And, you have enough copies?
I don't.
Well, not of the big copy.
Yeah, I do. We can share.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a paper.
I don't know, you're just up in your budget.
Usually I charge for those. So I just wanted everybody to take a quick look at that too. They've once again invested some time and money. We're working on a better connection for the power over there, which is the 115 kV lines that run very close to this park as well. So that's where they're looking to expand. They've also incorporated a lot of different databases out there to help promote the park. They have some very tight connections in with Syracuse, Micron, many connections with Micron as well. So we feel and we did the extension the last time, but I just wanted y'all to see their, what they're sending out to different developers too. We've had several meetings with, just as a side note to their project over there with the Thruway Authority, Oneida Solid Waste, Herkimer came involved, Alan showed up too, and the town of Schuyler about running sewer over to the Thruway rest area that would pass by this property as well, and that would give us another connection to that property there as well. So I just wanted y'all to see that. Anybody have any questions on it?
Okay, let's do, the performance business park. Or they're probably in the admin, it's good.
I don't know, I'm not in charge of numbering.
What? What happened?
We lost number 9.
Number 9.
Yep, sorry.
You go get 9 off your desk.
I
and
sure
bring it in,
can.
please.
I'll be right back.
The problem, when we start out with these, we have a different agenda, in the beginning of the month and we pull things out. I'm not, it's me, I do all of this.
That's what's 13 would be different.
I control
The elevator, you don't have 13.
So
9 is the new 13.
No, I'm always,
Yeah.
I'm
there we go.
pulling stuff off and putting it back on, so it's crazy. Right
Thank
now, from what I'm being told, and Tony, I see Tony Halleck there now, on the screen up there. Hey, Tony. We did send over the PSA to CASA, and they wanted to make 2 changes to it. And I sent those over to Tony. One was giving him 120 days instead of 60. And the other change was that we were going to allow them to subdivision the 50 acres if it was another CASA project. So it's not like they're selling it off to anybody else, but they have intention of bringing other businesses here. And then they would be run by different types of holding companies like most of the projects we do are. we haven't got that signed back from them yet. We should get that today. That's what I'm being told. I know it's been a long ride, but it's 50 acres at 25,000.
So he would be allowed to subdivide, retain those parcels, and it would just be a non-owner occupied sort of investment.
No, it would.
Or he would sell those parcels,
No, he would put those under like a holding company or
a
another.
separate LLC,
Yep,
right?
but it would still be his businesses that he'd be running, just like, right now, he has like 4 different businesses under the Casa name. This would be bringing in some other importers that he's been talking to bring other companies here. Or he would be the US operations for them, yeah, he would be the principal in it all, it would fall under him.
So the intention is for him to 100% own those other LLCs.
I would say that probably not 100%, but I would say like in any LLC, he's probably gonna have partners too, just like he's had partners in the Casa operation. But once again, in most of the properties that are owned are not like Tractor Supply, does
Right.
not own Tractor Supply. So I mean, that's just the way that these are normally set up. Tony, did you see any issue with that at all?
No, I was actually surprised he adapted all of our changes. I had no issue with the 2 blue lines that came back, to be honest with you, John. Pure business decision at this point, but I mean, you've characterized it. If he subdivides it out, it's got to be to an entity either wholly owned or controlled by him. So no objection on my end.
So what we'll do is as soon as we get because we voted, I think at the last meeting, did we, Victoria? Or not yet?
No, we need to vote.
All right. So how about if we vote, Tony, can we vote contingent on getting his back and your approval today so they can get moving?
Absolutely.
Because I'd hate to wait to the end of October and that's another 30 days. And 2 things, they're already investigating the wetlands and everything else they need to. He's partnering up with Huber Brewer, so in the Hinge, so I'm very content with the way they've done projects throughout our area in Syracuse, so. What do you mean? No, we don't need, they can, we're good right after he signs today. So what would you think the resolution would look like, Tony?
I would move to adopt the counter offer subject to approval by council of the subdivision language.
And it's 50.
I'm looking at it right now, and buyer creating to enter his own company for re-subdivision. I want to clarify that it's going to be an entity wholly owned or controlled by him. It's the only language I want added.
Okay. So controlled, but not, it doesn't necessarily have to be wholly owned.
No.
Okay, and then, all right, and it's 50 plus acres, plus or minus acres at 25,000 an acre. And they did not object to anything to do with that 100-foot easement either.
No.
We were concerned about getting the utilities through the property up to the back 25 acres in case we couldn't run them along the court road. So we put in there 100-foot from allowing us, and if we had to have some type of entrance or something, he wants an exit or an entrance really up on Newport too. And it's a county run road. I've talked to Bill Weekly already and, Mark, yeah, Mark. And, they're both okay with everything. We just gotta give them the plans.
Just no regs for residential.
It does, but not as of yet. It will.
It will cover everybody, but yes. Any new home built January 1st, 2026, that's not in an existing gas district or just the all
Well, other than multi-story.
that. Fuel industries.
No propane. No wood.
It's crazy. Anyway,
So with that PSA, remember there was concern with his pace of developing it, and I think you were going to look to sort of sharpen up the 2-year development language just to, I guess, make sure that there was,
I think there's 2 years in there. I think we were shrinking it down from anything more than 2 years.
no, not so much the duration, but it was better defining what development meant. In other words, if after years goes by, you know, he's paired up with some pretty high caliber developers, which is great, but you know, after 2 years and 2 years go by and he's only really moved dirt around, what is development defined as? What we were talking.
Tony?
Yeah, John.
Oh, so you didn't hear Ann. Ann was concerned about the 2 years of development, that if it just was moving dirt around, that really wasn't development. What's our clause in there to claw back the property after 2 year period if there's no building or structures put on there or actual development going on?
We haven't triggered it by that in the past, John. What we've done is required them to secure their approvals and commence construction. We've never had a clawback in the past based upon abandonment. And the answer obviously has been, it hasn't happened, but it's not the answer to the question.
Or we were talking about
Well, Fiberdyne, yeah, they bought the property and we never had any kind of clauses in that whatsoever.
do I interpret you're saying, Tony, that we do have those clauses, the commence construction is?
Yeah, they have to secure approval and commence construction within that window. Or we claw back. The underlying theory has been if they go that far, they're gonna put the shovel in the ground and move it forward. I mean, I guess it's always theoretically possible that you put the foundation in and then you walk away. But once they've started that, they've usually got bank financing in place. So, I mean, it becomes a little more problematical if there's a mortgage on the property. How are we gonna claw it back at that point in time?
Yeah, no, as long as that language is in there, I haven't seen the contract and. I don't think-
Yeah, no. And in Fiberdyne, the other examples are different because in those cases, they did nothing.
Would it be safer for us to say they must obtain a certificate of occupancy?
That 2 years is close, that would hurt us. No one's been.
Yeah.
Construction contracts now are 15 years.
Equipment alone to get in there,
This way would be a.
that would be too much.
All right. Okay, so any other questions? So, by advice of council, what he stated earlier, that resolution, any objection to that? But I need a motion. Okay, Tony, you want to just restate that real quick, your resolution, just so everybody understands?
My motion would have been to, and keep in mind that the red line that John's referring to is our red line with a couple of blue line changes. So I'm asking that you move to accept the counteroffer subject to approval by council, including language to the extent that the subdivision properties are either wholly owned or controlled by the applicant.
What about the 120 days versus 60?
So that's due diligence. So why that got added to 120 was now because of the wetland regulations. We just have to get that. So DEC has 60 days now, I believe, to confirm about the wetland lines and to come back to you and say, no, we need to move this over here. So that just slows them down a little bit. It's not in a endangered species area. There's no trees that they have to worry about. The houses had already gotten approvals to take that down. I mean, we've done a lot of work already. It's just since we did the initial stuff on the property, DEC came back with the wetlands, right? So.
How about the sewer? Is that gonna be an issue?
Not if they, right now they're developing without a sewer. They don't need a sewer for what they're doing. If we do put one in place, they gladly tap into it. But concurrently, it depends on the throughway authority right now. If the throughway authority comes, which I think they'll come back and say, yes, we want to do it.
As stated by council, any resolution. Tim, second, Bob, thank you. Discussion? In favor, aye? Any opposed, nay? Carried. Quackenbush. Yeah, this was on the part of the.
Well, I think it might come back on. Well, I think you should.
What do you got?
So they have not paid taxes. They're in arrears. So they have a development opportunity, but he doesn't seem to be moving too quickly with that development opportunity. It seems like all of the community is behind this development. I don't know if, since we have legislator Malta here, it might behoove the county to take a look at maybe possibly taking those properties and turn them back over to the IDA so we can redevelop those, if the IDA has that flavor. I truly believe with all the brownfield, knowledge we have now and everything else in place, we could really make that project go. Especially since they won't be able to try to force us water rents or anything else on the property at this time. But I think that we could really make that happen, especially that being part of the BOA area and some of the other opportunities that lie.
What would be the main focus on the property? Housing?
It would be the same developer would still be very interested.
I agree, we should explore this, but we get pushback from the village.
The village is
You know,
raring
I'm
to go
going
right
with,
now.
the type of housing that's gonna be there. Little Falls is going through this,
The village has already agreed to the type of housing that the current developer wants to put there. And the problem is, the holdup is the current owner of the property who hasn't paid taxes on any of the properties.
And I would have no problem with it if the village gave us commitment letter and. saying that
Well, I don't think
they
we would-
be- Well, some type of formal written notice that if they're in favor of it, before we take ownership. Because I don't want to take ownership on property.
And back to the first way you talk about that is that, was he just owned 4 parcels out of the 6 parcels?
There's only 4.
No,
There's not 6, there's 4.
there's something there which paid the first initial tax.
Yeah, but nothing more.
No,
Doesn't matter.
I know
Still
it's
past
not.
2 years.
But this year's,
Direction.
You know, like one of those books you read in English class in 12th grade. Hated it, but I would read that book out, read.
Nectar in a sieve. I
It's gonna
think.
be fun. We'll revisit it.
Well, I think it's important that we don't leave it there. I mean, he did some very foolish things, tore down stuff that affected the brownfield clearing program, put it in historic that we could get around to. I mean, we can keep some of those things, you just can't keep the structures that are in the place, but. I mean, there are attorneys there. I mean, I met with the attorneys for both sides in Schenectady, was I there last week or the week before? And, they're both saying, we don't know why he's holding this up. Can't figure it out.
What if they? Saying that.
Well, those back taxes don't go away. Yeah, sure, somebody's gonna have to. Couple $100,000 from them. And we would incorporate that somehow.
No, I haven't heard anything, but ask how this arose.
How, because I've been talking with a potential developer who's kind of like saying, I could probably just walk away. He starts out by saying, I'm not getting any younger. My wife goes, why are you going to Herkimer? And they live down in the Hudson Valley. He goes, well, I see a good problem, but the guy's giving you trouble. And I don't think any of this is a secret, so that's why they're scared to go into executive session. I think it's important people know that nothing's happening there. And that he's still pushing to take over the Montgomery Ward building and build school is amazing to me. That people still want to listen to that.
Their board's still the same.
So the board is different. The board is not owned the building with that. The board is that not for profit they founded. But the other, him and Mac, I can't remember that other guy's name, I blocked it out, who's his partner. So, yeah, they still own the structures, the 4 properties.
What kind of housing do they want to put in there?
They want to put some, different levels, workforce, some artisan, everything to work with housing and community involved. Save some of that, like office area, to maybe do some type of tribute to Quackenbush, wouldn't necessarily call it a museum. But he's been very successful in, Gloversville doing this, down in the Hudson Valley doing this, and Newburgh doing this, the developer, so. And we,
You have the capacity for this, John?
what do you mean?
Well, this was a big, and this consumed a lot of your time.
Because we were
Many
legal
years.
issues, so we don't have legal issues right now. No, and our cost would be a lot less if we're not paying the vote for it.
All right, what's the update? Long Valley water line.
Yeah, this is another thing we can talk about now. We have filed suit. They have so many days to respond. And we'll wait to see what happens there, but in case anybody's asked, yeah, we moved ahead with the filing of the lawsuit against the prostitutes.
So we sent the letter, they did or did not respond.
Did
to
not
that last
respond.
one. They did not.
Your time, you don't-
I can't remember if it's 60 or 90 days they have to. Before they get.
Would it be beneficial to have Chuck on every month for 10 minutes, or even Shannon to give some sort of,
Yeah,
so
but I
that's a
don't
little
think
more
she's aware of
specific.
that. She's on, but there's so many different teams there. We could make it for next month, sure.
Even if
Maybe
it's
it's
just
under
a
that.
10 minute. I mean,
I mean, if there's anything, or else we'll say, no, they haven't gone back, but I think by the end of next month of October, we should know. But I can't give it to you, so.
And in the village was signed.
The village passed a resolution to be part of the transmission line if it happens, but no other community has. And they don't have a time frame on when they're gonna be able to deliver one. I found it quite unique. We received a letter from, environmental, EFC, Environmental Facilities, New York State, saying that if the village did not sign on to this project, our grant would continue. Or wait, or didn't give a decision, our grant would never said if they said yes or no. But I'm not sure what anybody signed and what makes anything legal right now.
True or false, there isn't any mandate. for them. Put this on, yeah, from state up front.
I can't answer that. Well, it's not a true or false.
not gonna mention. I've never seen any sort of mandate for the quality of water and only.
I don't know if it's a-
They
it's
haven't
a question
even
of
talked.
quality, I think it's
It's all been focused
question
on
of,
Herkimer.
Well, Herkimer's had problems too.
I think it's a question of the age of the infrastructure, their water comes from 17
all
miles
special.
away, and it's, there's still good in place in the system, I think, somewhere. So,
We pull up that wood water pipe. I'm not sure that's true. And then if we really sat down in the couch and listened to each other. we would have a choice.
okay, let's go to item, so that's it.
No, we have 13.
Was it water?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Sorry.
Solar project, there's 4 of them, Sam. This sounds like pretty good.
So no, so it's Cordelia Power. Those are the 4 projects we did, the 2 in Dollarville, Manheim, the one in Schuyler and the one that's in Herkimer and Schuyler, right? They're asking for an extension on their sales tax abatement, that additional pricing, just additional timing of a year. I don't personally see an issue. Tony, do you see an issue with it?
Not at all. We've done this for other applicants in the past.
So we just need to vote on it. It does expire the end of October, but we just didn't want everything to rush through at the end, and he sent this over last night. I thought it'd be good to add it to the agenda.
Have any of them experienced or had the impact from the administration rolling back? The benefits of
He's just told us the only issue they've had is with supply chain. So they haven't had any issues, and we have not heard of any other issues with the projects we're dealing with moving forward. Battery storage, a couple of windmills and some other solar projects that they have not. I think a lot of it's the offshore wind that he cut way back. I don't think he touched the ones on land.
I don't know if it's been defined yet. I just know that it was rolled back and to be determined.
No, he hasn't done any of those for us yet.
Motion to, Sam. Second by Lori. Discussion. All in favor aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. All right, that ends the regular thing. Now let's go to.
Maybe just real quick, just so everybody knows that we have 4 solar projects in place that we voted on a couple of years ago. If there's a process to put them in the land, you have to work with the DEC, everybody, and their brother on these Corps of Engineers. They got to a certain point with it, they've mortgaged off the project, but it's still gonna be Cordelia. But they've gone to another bank for the mortgage, that took some time for them to get started. They've ordered some initial equipment, but not all of it, so that's why they need this extension in order to keep the project moving. So that kind of gives you a little better outlay of what it is.
All right, Greg, any comments?
No, I'll double check on the last
Seven
time
is
and
the magic number,
7.
7. Would be great.
I have one.
Thank you.
So wait,
Look into the Quackenbush, phenomenal again.
And Garrett Livermore is here, although you're not elected, you're elected to us. What's going on in cooperative?
We just hired a new farm business specialist, Raven Saunders. She replaced Nicole Tomel, who was there for like 6 or 7 years.
Can I bring them up? Okay, I just don't. What's this, what person's name?
Raven Saunders.
We will not forget Raven.
Yes, she just graduated from SUNY Morrisville with a degree in agribusiness management. She's charged with helping farmers work through economic problems or develop business plans. So I'll bring her by sometime.
Okay. Welcome.
She lives right now outside of Syracuse, but she's moving into Herkimer.
Okay. We appreciate the taxes.
And also, we're having our annual meeting is coming up actually in November at Herkimer Community College, and the topic will be the future of ag in Herkimer County, and Raven will be speaking, and also a young farmer.
Thank you. Do you know the date on that yet?
I believe it's the 20th. But we'll send that.
All right, John, give some. You all get that? You want to say?
Who's that up there? Do we know? Okay, great. Thank you.
I was going to ask Garrett, if you don't mind, is there what's sort of the Herkimer County buzz related to Chobani?
Right.
Shovel in the ground, any sort of feedback that, you're receiving?
Well, it's generally positive. The interesting thing that the dairy people are talking about is how it's going to reshape the milk market. Because right now, there's only 2 milk processors, Syracuse, and Troy. So this is going to add a whole new dimension on the market, which will be positive, and it may stimulate the other farms kind of shifting more towards dairy. So, and he's also going to be pulling from a much bigger milk shed than any of the previous. He'll be pulling from Western New York. Western New York has a very large draw on it now with the
Fairlife
plant. So
and the cheese
the
factory.
cheese factory. That's really, there's a lot of hope for the area that's coming.
But they don't have control over where their milk goes. That's the thing.
Right.
But I mean, he has
Well-
already investigated it thoroughly, or else he wouldn't build
Yeah.
it. So we know the milk's available.
Right, but they can switch, they can end contracts and switch, which previously, it's been a possibility because you only have 2 suppliers. But now that you have a third, you'll be drawing more, you'll bring more competition into the market and hopefully make it a better situation.
How much, excuse me, they're gonna use wise if where they go versus what like Kraft does. Is it?
Oh, it's much larger.
Yeah.
It's-
Sorry, it's small.
So it's gonna affect them. Like that.
Yes,
Well, it's shipped differently, and a lot of times his milk can only come from one supplier, where cream cheese, they bring it in from a bunch of different suppliers. So when you talk to in a single truck, right? So when you're talking to all these guys, and it's just how it's layered in, all 4 of us have dairy cows, but we can't fill a tanker. Chobani's not taking us. Kraft for cream cheese, they're taking us. So they'll be shipping it all over different places. It's a logistic nightmare for that, but that's what these milk trucks do.
But it will also, continue to drive towards consolidation because of that very fact.
Yeah.
Because they need milk it's much more highly controlled than cream cheese.
Yeah.
So they
much
don't want
more.
to take partial loads.
And then we're still have to worry about Walmart taking all the milk too, because Walmart's really fighting. What's the name of that? D something? Their co-op, I can't think of what that is off the top of my head, but there's another co-op taking the milk too. So everybody's fighting over the same thing right now, but at least the smaller farmers can ship still to somewhere. Some of the cheese places, Great Lake, but the bigger companies are the ones that want one tanker with one farm. So Insight Dairy will do for now.
Yeah. And they've had problems with the repair, changing the contract midstream, forcing, price changes on them, this will give them a lot more flexibility.
Which I don't understand is, right now Chobani's disassembling a plant in Norwich. And they put a hold on some expansion in Berlin, New Berlin. Which doesn't really make sense, because how are they gonna just ramp all up at the new place? I can't do that math,
Right.
I just don't understand it. We'll see.
Yeah, overall, it's a very good thing.
So the farmers definitely have some needs to really ramp up their operations.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or that
workforce
there'll be, bigger farmers, buying up more of the small ones. Yes. Because every time we go by Insight, they have another huge construction project.
Hopefully it's built now.
But that barn was rebuilt in like 3 months.
Yeah, so quickly. Yeah.
No.
No, you don't, and they build their life too. But, yeah.
All right, Ken, what do you got for updates?
First off, I would like to thank the college too. I mean, every event we have up there, you've been very supportive and you continue that too. So thank you very much. I know it's not our first one, it's the second, but the economic forum, great. We had great response. A lot of people there, a lot of people not from Herkimer County too. And we thought that was great. College had a table out talking about their classes and things that they do. And Derek, you were there as well. Thank you to the board who attended. Thank you very much. It was well attended and we're very happy with the way things are going. It's good to see Empire State Development there, helping support what we're doing and always looking to find space with us here. And then to have Kristen O'Neill from the new Turn Management who did by Remington on here as well. Talk and give a more personal aspect of what she is and what their company is, I think really helped everybody out. So thank you very much for that day. The first one though was a board resignation. Ms. Baslow decided to step down. So she's doing a lot of other projects and a lot of other things. I appreciate everything she did. I love all that. So I talked to Greg too already. He knows we need an additional member. We should have some names too soon. If you guys don't have anybody in particular that you're thinking about, but let us know. We got to kind of keep as diverse as possible. I know that's tough to say too. We really do need qualified board members as well. We'll do the best we can. Recon recap, that was, I can't remember, was it last week or the week, was the week before? I was on a panel discussing brownfields and smaller communities. That went okay. It was a little different than what our event is. It was more geared towards larger type consultants, I think, more than what we try to do at ours is get into the communities and help them redevelop. But overall, it was a good networking event. Both Nicole and Victoria came too. We really did get to see a lot of things that worked out well for us. Our countywide BOA recap, we had a meeting with several at the college. Thank you very much. I'm in a Newman office up there. So we had quite a few municipalities and we continue to grow that for inventory. So that was a $300,000 grant we received from the Department of State. We hired Mabella as the consultant and they're going through and working with each municipality on where their brownfields were. Got a little note from DEC. They were curious on why they weren't asked to attend. We found in the beginning of doing any of these investigations, people tend to get a little nervous when DEC is there and not likely to talk about a few gas stations or different things they see. Once we get more of an inventory, it can make those municipalities feel good like we did with Chips in Frankfurt. I think we'll see the same thing happen there, but it's just going to take a little bit of time. DEC visit recap, that was great. We had the Deputy Commissioner, Patrick Foster here, who's right under the Commissioner, and he's also in charge of brownfield redevelopment And then also that other biochar project we're looking at, he's in charge of that group as well. Took him on a shuttle tour of all of our properties. We went to Charlestown, we went to Remington Arms, we went to our BOA areas. It was a good day to take him around, and we were the first one that he did around the state, so we set the bar pretty high. We had handouts and everything. Senator Walzak came for a visit too. Got a chance to tour him of the brownfield sites and also take him to Tractor Supply. He's never been there before, so that was a good visit. Got to see that from there. So it went really well there too. Not a lot on the horizon. Some of the legislators had a chance to sit down with him too. I don't think he's familiar with some of the things that the ledge has issues with, as well as the sales tax, additional sales tax, bed tax that they were trying to do, occupancy tax. So he said he would look into it. Last Thursday and Friday, I went to New York City and met with the EPA. And there are new grants coming out. We will be applying for a 5-year or a $500,000 assessment grant. We're just finishing up ours now. That allows us to do phase 1, phase 2, and some planning. This one will give us more opportunity to do planning since we've done a lot of the environmental assessments already. It went good. We met with the regional administrator, Mike Martucci, and some of his staff. Very good meeting for us. Before that, we met with Turin. Had a great meeting with them about still more things that they're doing on the site and other opportunities at Remington. We also met with a power company, AC Power. They strictly focus on brownfields for redevelopment of energy, whether it's battery storage, solar, or any other types too. They're interested in seeing some of our sites, so that meetings went very well. IBA Polo. We also are looking to place a polo. We're also looking to place an order for some shirts and pullovers and things. Please let Nicole know if you want anything, because we're going to be ordering that very soon. The Advanced Nuclear Summit, I will be leaving from here, heading to Syracuse. Only 10 economic development groups were invited. We were one of the 10, so I'm very excited to see what they're talking about there. Small scale nuke plants to the larger ones. Should be a very good summit. The head of NYSERDA will be there. The governor will be there. There'll be a lot of key people that we can look to continue to grow Herkimer County. Just to let everybody know, there's a EDC summit as well in November 12th and 13th at the Turning Stone. We're going to find out if there's any course, if we can get the course requirements that y'all need on the board. We'll know that shortly, and we'll let everybody know that. So if you could attend, that would be great as well.
Registration open yet?
It is, but I don't want, you can register for, if you want us to find out first. Remember how we went to the one in Utica and you got the points?
Right, so,
Yeah,
yeah. I
we'll
just
let you know. Yeah, and we're also sponsoring it, but not a big sponsor. I think I'm doing a panel on brownfields too for that as well. And I don't think we need any executive session today. How about that?
John, what's the biochar project?
It's a PFAS removal of waste that we're working on. We were trying to put it at the plant in Mohawk, but because of the Disadvantaged Communities Act that the DEC put in place, it's in that area, but in our Manheim Park, it's not. It's in very early stages right now, but it would remove PFAS and turn the excess material at the end into a really good fertilizer, and also to remove any kind of contaminants in the ground. We're very excited about that process. They haven't invented any new equipment. They just invented the process and how to best use the equipment out there. So we've met with the DEC, EPA, everybody on that, but it's still early stages, what you're saying, Jimmy. We were more excited to put it at our plant in Mohawk, but it just, the DAC will kill us. It won't allow it to happen. So.
Could you give us a quick overview on the power situation?
What do you, what,
I mean, as far as, are we in line to get it there, or, what are the stumbling blocks gonna be to get there?
I'd rather not say the
Okay,
stumbling block
okay.
at this time, but I'll tell you about some of the other things that we're doing right now. So there's two ways that we're gonna get power to the Remington site. One's existing already that we can get And we've met with the New York State ISO. We have a scheduled project in place for 100 megawatts of power that can go on the existing lines that come in through a substation that runs directly under Otsego Street all the way up to the plant. So the ISO is the independent system operators out of New York State. They're looking at all of the grid and saying, how can we give them 100 meg off of this line going in? The answer is yes. It's just following the process now. The next project will be bringing 500 megawatts of power off the 364 Marcy South line that comes down. And that runs behind the property by about 1.5 miles through Russell Park and all of that. Pretty much all Village of Ilion property that we can connect into down there, that we're requesting 500 meg off of that Marcy South line. Right now, the Marcy South line has an additional gig plus that they can give away that's not committed to yet. This project here is the only one in our region, the Mohawk Valley region, requesting these types of power loads. Other regions, like up in the St. Lawrence, they're requesting, of course, Micron is. Our power comes from the nuke plant and National Grid, Niagara Falls. Same thing. It comes from Niagara Falls, but it's considered, because of the project that has the potential there, it's considered clean energy, not green energy. So which will work out well too, because under the current federal administration, Trump has a big push for all of these data centers, AI/data centers.
Ideally, they're looking for a total
500 megawatts. That 100 meg will get them going to start the process. The 500 megawatts will keep them active for everything. So there'll have to be some way of backing up the power if the 500 megawatts go down. There'll be a whole host of things yet, but it's still really a key could go in the door by probably 2020. We just finished up a study we did with Labella as well, that the New York State, Empire State Development gave us a $200,000, and it was to show what the site could be. Did we send everybody that study? Did you all get that study? We'll send that study out to everybody. It's a big PDF. The meat of it's in the front of the study. The back is all the, you know.
I think you did send it.
Pardon?
You did send it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so in that study, it shows, I thought we did. In that study, it shows all of the things that can happen with the site, and because we went down and presented to the state, and no one normally does that, it just goes like on a shelf. He gave them the opportunity now to apply for Fast New York, and also this new program coming out, Power Up, that'll help with the cost of bringing that 364 line to the site. None of this will be power generation though at the site. Municipalities can't really handle, when I say municipalities like Mohawk, Ilion, Frankfurt, they can take all the power in, but to put the power back into the grid, like if they put a solar farm or wind or battery storage, their systems aren't capable of doing that. And the cost to upgrade the equipment is crazy money.
Are there levels of approval to run those lines?
There is, and the only one we might need FERC too, which is the federal agency. The 100 megawatts already there. That's not a big thing, but also with the process as we move along with the New York State ISO, that's been part of that process too. So it's moving ahead, and it's going at a fairly good speed right now too. When you look at it, because the governor has selected Remington as one of her target sites to get something done, so she's been pushing. We've had the governor's office here several times. I think we've had just about anybody that we could get to that site to help push that. Jeff Januszewski, who's the economic development person we've been dealing with at the state, is pushing it along. So we see some great promise there.
Right, potentially this could always happen, but if you're gonna run, you mentioned of like a mile and a half away. The line.
364.
Can residents petition not to have that line with all the,
So that's just like a solar project and everything else. If it's over 20 megawatts, sure, but then four steps in. It's the agency within the state that does all of that permitting. And I know it's not home rule when it comes to these 20 to 25 meg, just like we just finished those other ones. Yes, can they try, but will they succeed? Most likely not.
it's just delays.
Well, it didn't really delay any of those other solar projects.
Well, like, solar project maybe in the middle of a field where this maybe going to a neighborhood, you know.
Well,
Whatever, we'll see.
More people. So.
Yeah, you know.
Well, this one really will go through more like Russell Park and things, and it can be buried, so, you know. The only place that FERC will be involved is where that connection will be on the line, on the power. It won't even be where the line has to be run. So, and you have redundancy there on that line, but still, even though it's redundant in two different lines, you still have to have some kind of power generation, because in a data center, you can't even have that much time off. It's gotta be constantly running. And there are smaller data centers, and we're getting a lot of calls on these foreign countries want a data center of their own in the US. They don't want it even in their own country. And it can be 10 megawatts up to 100 megawatts. And they're looking at it right now. We've had many conversations with developers for those as well.
John, with your timeline for the project, you mentioned, 2030. Is that about where Karen felt initially when we did that first meeting with them at the county office and they laid out that whole?
No.
Is that in line?
No.
It's not in line.
No, because they were originally looking, so the industry has changed. In the beginning, they were looking at 200 megawatts. Then as you continue to have the conversation, it goes up. Would someone take a gig tomorrow? Absolutely. But what we're seeing around and as Jen Waters talked about, Texas is out of power, Ohio's out of water. We have both right now.
Okay, that's it. Anyone else for the good of the organization?
Usually I charge for this as a presentation, but today I'm going to do it.
Give motion. Adjourn. Ken, Frank, discussion, on favor aye, and opposed nay, carried. Okay, we have the LDC.
That'll take 5 minutes.